Alright, welcome to this part 3 of the Featherless speedrun tutorial for Nioh 2, and I'm not gonna delay this any further. Let's go straight away. Away out. I have less things to explain right now, so it should be a bit shorter. We will see. But yeah, the time where I had to explain more things was in the first region, and then I still have to explain a bit on the second. But you know, I should need to explain less things now. But yeah, so over here, I want you to be very careful with your key. Use Respire Lily right there, and there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna explain right now. This guy right here, the one with the Odachi, is very dangerous. And you know, if you can avoid it consistently no matter what, then power to you. But I would recommend getting to as high key as possible without topping it up, just to not lose too much time. And then dash past him, alright? Because if he gets you with one of those hits, well, you don't have much key, or like half or less than that, you're just gonna die, okay? So be careful with that. Alright, so apart from that, we're just gonna run a little bit. Remember that we got on the last region, or on the last mission, hand mirror right there, so it's kind of free to put on the inventory or on the equipment. And we also got some Yamabushi sandals, so that's pretty neat. There's no need to dwell too much into the menu itself, so you can just continue. And yeah, ready the items menu, because we're gonna use it next. Alright, so on this part we're gonna wait a little bit here and then run there. There we go. When I say wait, I mean like not rush too much. But yeah, the idea is to go right next to the tree that I passed on, and then go grab the item. That should avoid the gaze of Tatarimokke, which is gonna be the boss that we're gonna fight. And yeah, right here we're gonna talk to Mumia. It's gonna give us a cable of beckoning, which is gonna be pretty useful for later in the run. Okay, now we're gonna get this Spirit Gem, which is gonna be useful right now. But before we do that, we're gonna level up. 10 heart, 10 courage, 1 skill. I have more than I would normally have, honestly. Like normally I wouldn't be able to actually level up. But yeah, it's okay. 10 skill, and then you can put another 1 on strength. The idea is to put to go 10 on everything except dexterity or magic, and then dump everything else on stamina until we get to the DLCs. Then we will change a bit the plan on the second DLC. But you know, we'll get there when we get there. So yeah, like that. Change Guardian Spirit, R2, well R1 rather. So basically like secondary Guardian Spirit. And we're gonna get Masaru, okay? Masaru, then Astun Circle, Yatsu no Kami, and Enki. Alright. Now, we're gonna just, as soon as we leave this menu, this shrine, we're gonna use the Spirit Gem and start dashing, okay? Go right here. Get this Lantern Plant Fruit, there's 3 of them. And start dashing. Now I'll do this early. Now, the moment that I enter this, you know, I trigger this door, I'll just switch to the axe. But before I do that, at the start of the fight, the music doesn't help right now, honestly. At the start of the fight, what we're gonna see is Tatarimokke do some kind of approach attack. So what we're gonna do is, as soon as we see Tatarimokke, not before, we don't spam it from before, just the moment that we see Tatarimokke, we're gonna use that Fleeting Guardian amulet that we picked up on the Kamaitachi level. And after we do that, we're gonna dash on low stance until we get right next to the pot. I don't know if you can see it from here actually. Yeah, I don't think we can actually. Well, it's gonna be a pot to the right. Okay, it's gonna be a pot to the right. Actually, it might be that one. I don't know. Maybe the position of the map is not the same as I thought. Anyways, when we're right next to it, we're gonna wait for Tatarimokke to attack. The moment that Tatarimokke attacks, just try to time it. You know, it can be several things. It can be a spin, it can be a wing, it can be a claw attack, it can be another kind of claw attack, which is a grab. Either way, we're gonna have to dodge it, and we're gonna dodge it towards the barrel. So it's gonna break it, and it should stun the Tatarimokke, and it would also give us a purity buff on our weapon, in this case the axe. So when that happens, we're gonna dash into Tatarimokke. Be very careful because you might mess up this if you rush too much. Switch to high stance and do a high stance strong attack, followed by a brute counter. Okay, and then right as the blood counter lands, we're gonna do Yatsu no Kami. Okay, and then after Yatsu no Kami, make sure that we're close to the Tatarimokke, and we're gonna do either, depending on the situation, you might actually find yourself doing a comfortable full Heaven on Earth, or just a quick Heaven on Earth. We will see. But after that, we should finish shortly after the Tatarimokke has landed, because it's fallen. Okay, now it's dawned. And the moment that happens, we're gonna pop Yokai Shift, and we're gonna grapple while we pop the Yokai Shift with the brute. And then we're gonna wait. The moment that we see Tatarimokke start the spin animation on Wake Up, we're gonna parry that, you know, with L1 triangle, okay? And then we're make sure to just spam that, because you can extend that parry. I didn't mention that before. And then depending on your attack, you might be very close to finishing it. You might have finished the fight or whatever, but in which case I'm gonna talk to you if we get there. But remember that you have the options of doing a skill attack, you know, a guardian skill attack. You have the options of parrying, you have the option of brute counter, sorry, and you have the option of just quick attacks and strong attacks and charge attacks and all that stuff. I'm gonna trust you on, you know, making the right decision if you need to, okay? Because the parry is the last thing that is actually like the strat, and the rest is just gonna have to adapt. If everything goes perfectly, you would just finish the fight right there. But if it doesn't, then, you know, small adjustments depending on the situation. Anyways, just to the axe. Skip the cutscene. We see it. Okay, dodge. Oh, I dodged too late. It's okay. We're gonna do this anyways. We're just gonna delay the strat a little bit. Doesn't matter. Okay. Yeah, that was very, very messy. I'm gonna do it again for sure. Okay, so that's one thing that you can do when you mess up a little bit or you get unlucky. I'm gonna do this again, okay? See you in a bit. Alright, welcome back. Skip the cutscene, we see the bird. 1, 1, 2, 3. Yatsu no Kami. There we go. Now we're gonna parry this. Oh, I did it too late. Okay, that's the special. Yatsu no Kami. I'll do it one more time. This fight is very fast, so I'll allow myself to do it again. Skip the cutscene. We see the bird. Proc fire. 1, 2, 3. Yatsu no Kami. 1, 2, 3. Yokai shift. Counter. Skill. There we go. That's basically more, what is it called? More on the lines of what's a good fight. Now, okay, I'll explain in one moment one thing, okay? So over here you have some secret arrows, small spirit stone, red spire lily, and what's the other thing? Come on, just show it to me, bitch. Lantern plant fruit, I think it is. I think it's a lantern plant fruit. Yeah. So yeah, if you want extra things, you can get them here. Okay, I'll take them. But you know, it is not very necessary, especially if you're just doing any percent. If you're doing with DLCs, you might be more of in a clutch at the end, but it depends on how the run goes. Okay. Anyways, switch to Masaru, yes, and go forward. Now, I don't know what I got. Let me see. Yeah, I didn't get anything. It's fine. Skip the cutscene. Okay, we do not need a Tatarimokke soul core. And we're going to corpses and eyes. Let's go. Alright, so right at the start there's gonna be a place where you can get a Scampuss, and we're gonna do a little bit of menu right there. So, pat the Scampuss, and we're gonna get this, okay? Just a small menu while we wait for the animation to end. Alright. So we set up the items because we're gonna need it after this. And right here, okay, so just the moment that you're in contact with that plank, you should start dashing forward. It doesn't guarantee you getting past the yokai spawn without getting staggered. I don't know, like, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, I'm not too sure. But yeah, it's the best strat that I found. See, like right there, it doesn't work. And this is why I picked Masaru, because you can do a burst counter if necessary. So yeah, pick that up. We won the large spirit stone and lantern plant fruit, and we picked those two spiriting gems. And yeah, now we're gonna dot roll and go backwards this way. Pick up this item. Sometimes you'll get hit by an arrow, don't worry. Spirit Stone. Now, at this point, we can switch to the Brute, to Makami. Open this and go to the right here. Okay, so yeah, you just dash past him to the right. Now, I will actually just get this shrine, but you don't need to take this shrine if you don't want to. You know, it's gonna be faster. Now, there's an item right next to this next enemy. By the way, if you do want to level up, remember what I said earlier? Just go 10 strength and then rest on stamina, okay? Anyways. Right now, there's an item right next to this enemy. And we're gonna get it. Don't worry about it too much. But yeah, let's just use a Spiriting Gem right here at this point. But yeah, don't worry about the positioning of the enemy too much. It should not be too much of an hassle. But yeah. Anyways, we're gonna continue, and this is the boss buff, and we're gonna explain the fight a little bit. Funnily enough, this fight is kind of simple, actually. So basically, at the start, we just want to bait attack with a big recovery time. It's mostly what he does. I'll explain more or less how to punish certain attacks. So the slam, either you know the range attack slam, the jump slam, or whatever like that. That's, you know, it's a freebie. You just dodge it to the side and do a quick heaven and earth. You can also do the swipes from the right side. If you read the movement properly, you should just be able to strafe it. Strafe the first part, and then while you're strafing it, you can do a quick heaven and earth. There's also like the quick slashes. That's the hardest one to avoid. Sometimes I get hit by that. It's like from to the side, like it does like something like an AI move, but like diagonally upwards to the right. It's pretty rough to dodge. Apart from that, there's not too much more that he can do at the start. Avoid the grab, he does that. But 2 Heaven and Earth should be enough to trigger the red key. And then the moment that happens, you use the Yatsu no Kami and then just do Heaven and Earth. Depending on the key, and you know, on their judgment and all that stuff, you can do a full one or a quick one. And then right after that, you just pop Yokai Shift. That's why I popped the Inspiriting Gem. And then what happens after Yokai Shift is you do a brute attack. Brute counter. Yes. And then wait for the first stomp. Time the stomp so you can get the parry. And then after that, just do a couple of attacks, keep pulse, and wait for the next stomp, and do the parry, okay? And then after that, you can do some quick attacks, but just look at what he's doing, you know, if you need to, like, dodge or counter or parry or whatever. But ideally, that's what you want to do. You just want to get into that cycle and use the Yatsu no Kami whenever he's on very low key or red key, and you should be fine, okay? So let's go. So the hardest thing to do here is basically getting the timing properly every time. So right here, this is slam. We're gonna be doing this Heaven and Earth. Flux one is good enough. Yeah, that's the dangerous attack that I was talking about. Those swipes diagonally. Okay, don't worry about it too much. I got hit. Okay, Heaven and Earth, and we can do Brute, parry, 1, 2, key pulse, parry. So yeah, I got hit right there, it's okay. Parry. Parry. That's an Okami. So that's a sketchy fight because I did make some mistakes, but as you can see, the fight itself is not very hard. You just have to take into account some trickier than usual attacks, like that one attack that got me before going into Yokai Shift. And apart from that, it's good. Okay. And yeah, after the first parry, the first two parries is not gonna have low key, so you need to watch for what he's doing. But yeah, apart from that, you're good. Okay. All right, welcome back. What's that? Okay, depending on how you feel, you might do Flux 2 or Flux 1. That's an Okami right there. Full. Yokai Shift. Red counter. Parry. 1, 2. Parry. That's an Okami. Parry. Parry. That's an Okami. Yeah, that's another example. And I'll do it one more time. Alright, welcome back. Over on Earth. Flux 1 at least. Yeah, that was a bit risky to continue. Okay, now, at this point, you could just do high stance strong attack, but I decided to do that. 1, 2, you know, full one. Yokai Shift. Red counter. Parry. 1, 2, parry. That's an Okami, parry. There we go. Red counter, parry. 1, 2, parry. That's an Okami. You get the idea. You get the idea. I did make some variations, you know, just to give you more options. I do not recommend doing the special. As you can see, I basically just wasted the Amrita meter. But, you know, depending on the situation, it might actually work. I'll leave it up to you. Anyways, if you're fast enough, by the way, you can skip this dialogue right here. Like, you don't need to speak to him, you will just try to speak, but it would not work. But that's if you're really fast at talking to him after defeating Magara and Naotaka, okay? So take that into account. Go forward. And we didn't get anything good, so that's fine. Make sure that whenever you don't get a new weapon, you can still get other stuff, like if you see an armor that should be good, or if you see an accessory, you can equip them, okay? Just small things to do instead of just not doing anything, alright? Bird in a cage, let's go. Okay, so yeah, not too much to talk, just make sure that you don't break the... you know, remember that where that the goal was, so don't break that barrel when dashing, because right behind him and there's a goal that you can... I don't remember the name, you know, those guys that have a pickaxe sometimes, just don't break that because it's gonna be bad. Alright, so we're in this dark room. Stick to the left and make sure you have enough key and you should be fine. As soon as it spawns, just start going forward with the dashes. That skeleton should miss you. And now we're gonna do this. Make sure you go to the left enough, because otherwise a spider might actually get you on the way. So yeah, just hack it a little bit more to the left. And now we're gonna learn Rumbling Earth and Titanic Strength. If you do not have enough, for whatever reason, if you don't have enough for Titanic Strength, just do Rumbling Earth. I mean, for both, just do Rumbling Earth, yes. And then you change that to Rumbling Earth, high stance on Rumbling Earth, and you put a Masterful Slicer. I'll do it again, just so you guys can see it. This is a safety shrine, by the way. You don't need to take it if you are going fast. But yeah, I'll do it again. So normally, if you only have 2 skill points right here, just learn this and then this. Okay? It's gonna be faster than just going directly to Rumbling Earth, by the way. If you have 3, then you can just get all 3, you know, 1, 2, and 3. I think that's the fastest way. Then after that, on the other mechanism, you get here. Okay, this is how it would look like. Okay, and then you just select Mud Spinner, down, Rumbling Earth, then square, down, Masterful Slice. Masterful Slice, yes. So that's all I did there. Now, apart from that, you could level up here, but again, it's not a schedule on my route. But if you do, remember, you know, 10 strength and then rest on stamina, okay? Okay. That's just my levels, like, it's not necessarily the best thing. Remember to pick this Warrior's Monk Hammer, okay? Depending if you have like really bad luck with your drops and you feel like you're very behind in damage and all that stuff, you might actually just equip it before this boss. But yeah, I'm not gonna do that, and we're just gonna equip it later unless we get a better drop on the boss. Okay, let's go. Okay, so we buff with Purity. And this boss is going to be trickier than the other 2 on this region, okay? Now, Azai Nagamasa always starts with a drop attack, okay? So it's going to fly in the air and then drop on you. Dodge that late. If you dodge it that late, it's going to catch you. So yeah, take that into account. So what I do is dodge that late with a low stance, and then get in. And while he's still recovering from that animation, I do high stance, strong attack. And what normally happens is that he blocks it. He blocks the second hit, if you're fast enough. And does a parry. Okay, a wing parry, like Azai Nagamasa always does. And then after that, you know, I dodged them the last time. You know, like basically when I'm getting staggered from that parry, I switch to low stance. Do not confuse it with flux into low, just switch to low stance, okay? And right before it's gonna get me, I dodge it, because otherwise it doesn't really let you dodge it, okay? Now, after that, what I do is stay on low stance and do Titanic Strength, and then on the next, it be like high stance strong attack or Heaven on Earth or whatever, it should get to red key, okay? That's for now. I'll leave it there. Okay, for now I'll leave it there. Now let's go back in time a little bit. What happens if he doesn't block at the start? He can actually attack you. That's bad news. That's bad news, because you're gonna have to recover from that. You're gonna have to. It's gonna hit you basically, unless you get lucky, and you're gonna have to try to recover from that. Just heal. It's okay, and just from there onwards, just try to do just a Titanic Strength. It's going to be safer than high stance strong attack, basically because it consumes less ki and it's a bit faster, okay? Now, when you are on the red key, okay? When you're on the red, well, he is on the red key rather. You can just do switch between high and low and do high stance strong attack or low stance Titanic Strength and whatnot, until he decides to do, you know, transition to the Dark Realm. Or you can also just try to do Heaven on Earth. I would recommend doing Heaven and Earth just on the first attack that gets him into red key, and the rest do the other things. And the moment that you see him transition into Dark Realm, you want to move to the side. Okay, so move back up. Okay, like give some space between you and the boss, and then move to the side. Okay, why? Because while it is possible, you know, I used to do that, to just, you know, counter with Feral that attack face on. It is better to, you know, give him some angles so that so most feathers can miss you, you know, from the attack, and then just do the counter. Okay, so after that, you should be able to do Yatsu no Kami, and you should try to do high stance strong attack. If you're very unlucky, you might actually get punished a little bit for that, but it should not be deadly. So I think it's a worth it. It's a risk worth taken. Yes. Apart from that, if you do not manage to get him into red key, you can just, you know, get in after an opening, and yeah, just do Titanic Strength or whatever, and then make sure that you do the high stance strong attack and all that stuff. Now, after that, you should, because you did the Yatsu no Kami and all that stuff, you should actually have enough key damage onto him so that he gets downed. And then it actually gives you quite a generous time to punish him, so you can do like a Heaven and Earth, a quick Heaven and Earth, and then grapple. Okay, so after grappling, there's two options. One, if you're low on HP, heal. Two, you can buff. Okay, so right after it, just do one of those two, or if you do not need to do either of them, okay, just do move to the left, and as soon as you see him, see your character moving to the left, just move to the right again until you're back on the same position, and then start doing Titanic Strength. You know, high stance, hold triangle or strong attack or whatever, and that's gonna be Rumbling Earth. Now, if you are on good HP and he has Purity on, which should be the case unless something went horribly wrong, right after that you should be able to flux into low stance and immediately do Titanic Strength. Okay, remember, Titanic Strength is this, Rumbling Earth is this when on high stance. Okay, just look at the inputs, not mentioning them, but yeah. And then after that, if you do everything correctly, he should be already on red again after hitting you once. So that's why I said you know, the HP and whatnot. Sometimes it doesn't actually hit you, but it's very likely. Okay, if you do it very optimally, I think you will not get hit, but I'm not too sure if that's always gonna happen. Anyways, after that it's the same thing as before. Just switch between high stance strong attack and Titanic Strength, or, you know, if you're gonna just down it on that, you can do Heaven and Earth. All right. Now, he doesn't give you a lot of time to actually get him into the down state after removing all his ki and being on red key. Okay. But yeah, after that you grapple him again, and he's gonna transition back into Dark Realm. Okay, that's what's gonna happen. You do the same setup as before. Just either heal or buff, or just do the left and right, and then start doing Titanic Strength, and then repeat the process. That should be the fight. Okay. Anything else, there's no real strat. It's just, you know, try to recover and get back into pace for the strat. Okay, let's go. Skip the cutscene. Dodge. Titanic Strong attack. Dodge. Titanic Strength. As you can see, he hit me right there because he sometimes does that. Titanic Strong attack. And then I'll just decide to do this. heal. Okay. This should be good. So what happened here? I don't have the purity debuff here, so I'm gonna buff. I have enough HP, so I'm gonna do this. Now, snake. There we go. I'll do it again. I'll do this fight again. Okay. Now, 1, 2. So he didn't have enough key damage right there, but it's fine. And then that's Nokami, and the fight is over. I'll do it again. That's a good example because, you know, it was sketchy, but I did recover. It gives you a good example of what you can do. Okay, so here we go. All right, welcome back. Dodge, fast and strong attack. Dodge, Titanic strength. Got hit. Fast and strong attack. Titanic strength. Fast and strong attack. Okay, heal. Distance yourself and go to the left. I mean to the right in this case. Okay. So again, I got a bit unlucky, so I have to buff again. Okay. Hammer Nerf. I could have countered that, but it's fine. Oh yeah, that attack is actually only ranged, so yeah. Okay, I got unlucky here. And I also had a really bad position for that. So yeah, this is an example of a really, really bad fight in terms of luck. But you know, I can still put it off. And you know, right now, he's on really, like, right there it was a good example. He's very low on HP, and you just grapple him, so you can just do high stance strength and you don't need to do the setup. If he's not that low on HP, do the setup. It's gonna be better. Okay, I'll do it again. Alright. Dodge, fast and strong attack. Dodge, Titanic strength. There we go. Fast and strong attack. There we go, that's good. That's perfect actually. Another nerf. 1, 2. Titanic strength. That's Nokami. There we go. No buff. Rubber nerf. Okay, I missed because I didn't distance myself. So that's also a good example of what happens if you do not distance yourself from boss. And you know what? I'll do it one more time. Okay, and now I'm gonna show you the difference between the axe and the hammer. I just picked up this hammer. You know, it's always gonna be there. Different rarities, you know, each run, but it's always gonna be there, pretty much. All right. There. To the sides. Counter. There we go. That's good. All right. Now I'm gonna buff. Alright, there we go. Left, right. And that's with the hammer. You get the idea. Alright? I will be using this hammer for the next mission at least, okay? Now, after this, we change to the brute, you know, the Makami, and of course the sword. Alright. If we get anything better, like this axe, then we equip it, okay? Alright, so that's the end of Region 3 Shadow, and we're gonna proceed to the next region straight away. And yeah, that's how we're gonna end the part 3. So I'll see you soon on part 4, which is gonna be the region Dawn. We're gonna start with Prevailing Waters, Sakamaichi and Gyuki. So yeah, see you around. Bye bye.